Love for animals. Why do dogs often smell their privates? Have you ever wondered why dogs often sniff the private of other dogs and also of humans? Now, here on the Love for Animals channel, we will help you understand this rather curious behavior of the animal world. The dog's sense of smell is undoubtedly one of the most refined senses of canine organisms. It is through him that dogs can communicate with the world, with the other animals, and with also humans. However, there is a recurring situation related to the canine sense of smell that leaves some guardians somewhat disconcerted. When the dogs decide to smell the private parts of other humans or animals. If this has happened to you, surely you have wondered about the reason for this behavior. Well, the canine sense of smell is much keener than the human one, much keener. It is known to be super powerful. While humans have 5 million olfactory cells, dogs have 120 to 300 million cells at the same time. In other words, their higher olfactory capacity makes the animals detect others that humans cannot even imagine. Besides the superiority in the number of olfactory cells, the anatomy of the dog's nose has evolved over thousands of years in such a way to enhance the reception and processing of smells by the animal. And as if this were not enough, dogs, as well as other tetrapod animals, have an extra system, the Jacobson organ, that helps optimize the reception of others coming from the hormones and pheromones of other animals. So, it is safe to say that dogs are able to capture and register a great deal of information using only the power of smell. Now that we know how dogs' sense of smell works, let's get back to the question that brought us here. Why do dogs smell the private parts of people and other animals? This behavior is directly linked to the fact that dogs rely on their knee and sense of smell to learn a little more about humans and other animals. Many people often think that this act is just a "hi, how are you?" but it goes beyond a warm welcome or introduction. Our scent works as a business card for dogs to get to know us better. And given the high concentration of sweat glands and consequently pheromones in the groin area, they choose to smell it to identify our natural odor more easily. See how interesting this is? This also helps to understand why the little furries are big fans of fur-fused and also used socks or shoes, since the feet also concentrate a lot of odor from these sweat glands. The same happens when a dog sniffs the private parts of other dogs. By doing this, it is a way for them to introduce themselves and collect important information about their new colleague, such as age, general health condition, and even if the female is ovulating, for example. Another interesting fact, researchers have noticed that when a female ovulates, there is even a change in the pheromones that attracts dogs. With this in mind, they decide to train Australian Shepherds to identify and collect cows in their fertile period so that farmers and ranchers could best manage them. Such smell testing of dogs has become a very accurate and reliable method of predicting ovulation in animals and even humans. Is it interesting to point out that the dog does this only for its smell? An animal that is afraid or that is very stressed or insecure will not do this. Generally, the dog that is mentally healthy, curious, in a good mood, motivated and happy is the one that will do this and will do it more in the presence of the guardian. For the presence of this guardian, the dog feels more confident to explore the new. So when a dog approaches you to smell, no need to be surprised. It is just completely natural behavior to the animal to get to know a little bit better. But still, is this behavior bothering you? It can be embarrassing and unpleasant, and having this animal and all dogs sniffing someone's private parts, especially when this person is a stranger that you meet on the street. Many can understand this, but it's also something that can be corrected, since there are significant differences the way the two species perceive the world. For this whole work, with interactive training, positive reinforcement, and animal welfare, dogs do not need to be scolded or punished for their behavior to be educated and understand the human norms of coexistence and good manners. The guidance is even more valuable when it comes to natural behaviors, such as this one. Dogs can be taught in a gentle and respectful manner that certain behavior is not desired by associating a word that means please stop you are doing. When the dog presents an unwanted behavior, we suggest that the guardian calmly interrupt that behavior. In the case of the dog sniffing the intimate part of the visitor, it is worth gently pushing his away and saying the word no, without the need to speak loudly or any more abrupt behavior on our part. The ideal could also be to distract the dog when facing a behavior considered undesirable, but not with treats, for example, so that the dog doesn't perceive it as a reward. It can be it with, for example, with a game or by toy that you or your pet like. If you notice the animal's interaction or intention before it acts, diffuse the behavior by distract, calling out, and preventing it from doing that. Another idea to instruct this dog is the person to ignore the animal and turn away to make it easier to redirect the dog's attention to another activity quickly. Once he understands that he cannot perform the behavior in that context, he will be content to acquire the information from a greater distance. However, this can be a difficult training to perform alone, so you can seek professional help. If the person is embarrassed, try to explain that this is normal for him. That in fact, your puppy is just trying to get to know the visitor better. It is important to emphasize that our relationship with dogs should not be based only on what we don't want them to do, but on teaching them behavior that we want them to exhibit. Did you like this content? Then be sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like here below so we can bring you more information like this. We at Love for Animals will be right here. A kiss and see you next time.